severe weather outbreak that is expected to take over in just a few minutes. We have quite a bit of severe thunderstorms going on in this tornado watch that's been issued for portions of northeastern Texas, much of central and western portions of Oklahoma and southern Kansas. We have tons of storm chasers on these storms right now. We'll just go over them one by one. One severe thunderstorm warning is up near portions of Billings, Kansas, Oklahoma, excuse me. We're just going to watch and see if these storms start to rotate. There's enough wind shear in place if these storms remain clustered like they are right now, there's a good chance that the tornado factor will be limited. But in Garbert, there's a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. As we go down into portions of near Lacey, Oklahoma, we're dealing with a thunderstorm with wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. And just south of it, we're also dealing with a severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing 60 miles per hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. And then down here in portions of southwestern portions of Texas, we're dealing with actually a damaging thunderstorm here. Whenever you get near the 70 mile per hour to 80 mile per hour threshold, you start to get numerous trees down and wires down and stuff like that. So winds are gusting. You can see wind gusts as high as 70 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. This is a considerable threat, and you can probably tell why. We've got a large blowing effect happening with this system, the storm as it's moving off to the north and east. But enough of that talk. We've got multiple. We also have an area of concern over here in the West Virginia area and Kentucky as well, with a bunch of strong thunderstorms going through here. Much of these are non-severe, but some of them are severe and capable and hauling 50-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail within them. And then we also have another thunderstorm which has a considerable damage threat label on it in West Union that is 70-mile-per-hour gusts and just shy of quarter-sized hail. And there's also a tornado possible label on the storm as well. And that all comes with this little area here as well. That is because of the slight risk of severe weather issued there. But yeah, we also have another mesoscale discussion that was just issued down in portions of southwestern Texas. This is for the potential for severe thunderstorms. So the potential is there for EF1 to even EF2 tornadoes. The potential is also there for 65 to 80 miles per hour damaging winds and hail in excess of 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches. But my main concern and my main target tonight, even though I'm really not a storm chaser, is going to be right here. We should start to see multiple thunderstorms, supercells develop somewhere in here, and you'll see what I mean by that as we take a look at the actual severe weather out. I need to do one thing just before that, just get this this mesoscale discussion down here on the screen so you guys can see it. Let me do that real quick. But yeah, okay. Alright, yes, this is the latest mesoscale that was just issued. We'll just put this in there. There's a bunch of different mesoscale discussions that have really just been canceled because our watch is in place, but I'll put this one in there just for the heck of it. Here we go. One last, you'll see it on the bottom right of your screen. Sorry, bottom left of your screen where I have mesoscale discussions. This one is, again, yeah, there it is. Anyways, we have an enhanced risk of severe weather today that's in parts of much of, really the target zone is in portions of Oklahoma, northeastern portions, northern Texas, and southern portions of, at least southern portions of Kansas. There's the risk of EF2 plus tornadoes today. The risk is not overly high, but I'm really concerned about tomorrow. Tomorrow could be a very intense day as far as severe weather goes. We could be looking at an enhanced risk of severe weather across portions of the Great Lakes region. The target zone would be southern Wisconsin, eastern portions of Iowa, and northern portions and northern Illinois. And this is particularly a dangerous setup, particularly because we're going to have a cold front going along with the warm front. And right along that cold front, there could be some supercell thunderstorms that develop, and therefore there's a 10% hatch risk of tornadoes there for portions of southern Ohio, southern Iowa, um, eastern portions of Iowa, and northern Illinois. So yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on right now. We're kind of just in the very peak hours. It's not peak hours, but very you know, just the starting of this entire severe weather event. The tornado watch remains in effect for another 6 hours. I don't really. We're gonna just have to watch as these thunderstorms interact with this core here of high dew points. And you can see here, they just issued a new mesoscale discussion. Let me take a look at that one real quick. I would assume this is the initial ignition of these supercell thunderstorms that could be potentially dangerous. For some reason, their site is not updated, so we'll just take a look at it. But I would expect it to be something like probably the ignition of tornadoes. So yeah, this area right here is for. They're going to be as it says, the tornado risk will increase over the next couple of hours. So we're just really getting started with this severe weather event. These are really just initial thunderstorms, and some of them happen to be supercells, so we could see some hail out of them. Hail will also be a big factor tonight, and damaging winds will be as well. But obviously, the tornado risk is in a hatched risk. The only thing is we're just dealing with a high end of a 5% risk. If we look at the severe weather for today, this is how it looks, kind of. So we have an enhanced risk of severe weather that extends from northern portions of Texas, central portions of Oklahoma, through southern portions of Kansas, and down through portions of southern Texas as northern Texas as well. We also have a slight risk of severe weather that extends from Kansas City, Missouri, all the way down to portions of southern Texas, and all the way back to portions of central, southeastern portions of Kansas. There's also a marginal risk of severe weather that extends quite a bit away from this. That goes all the way back to portions of southern Illinois and Indiana, and all the way back to portions of Texas, and even as far west as potentially right around Kinsley, Kansas. We also have other two hot spots that were issued due to this. We have two hot spots for slight risk of severe weather in portions of West Virginia and the Ohio Valley. And we also have a slight risk of severe weather being issued for portions of the Mid-Atlantic as well. We have one severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for portions of Hagerstown. This is for, let me get to the radar real quick. 60-mile-per-hour gusting quarter-sized hail. It looks like primarily a hail producer, but there could be some damaging winds with it. And that's pretty much what we're dealing with. Now, as we look at the tornado threat overall, the tornado threat is labeled as significant because there is potential we could see yet 2+ tornadoes. We'll just have to see if it plays out tonight. And as you can see, there is that brown area, which is your 5% risk of tornadoes. And you can see how it's got these lines through it. This means it is a hatch, which means it could be potentially significant. There's potential we could see isolated strong tornadoes. I'm not saying the threat is overly high, but looking at the weather models overall, it does forecast this. That is the primary reason why this 5% roof is in effect. We're just going to have to watch this very closely throughout the next couple of hours. This severe threat could last as long as, again, as the tornado watch expires in 6 hours. This could last for several hours. I don't know how long I'll be live for, but I would assume it'd be between about 10 and 11. Because the primary threat is really going to be, I think, pretty much where they've got it spotted, really. We're going to have some supercells that do develop kind of right here that are going to be particularly concerning, I do think. The HFR model is picking up on that. And as we speak, there's a new tornado watch that has just been issued for portions of, I don't know why there isn't a tornado threat with this, but that's quite interesting. There is a strong there is a tornado threat, so they might just erase that and put a severe thunderstorm warning instead. But unfortunately, a tornado watch has been issued for portions of Missouri as well, which kind of does surprise me. I didn't expect them to extend it that far, but here we go anyways. And they're going to likely expand it through portions way far northern than this, and this is probably just an expansion of that tornado watch. Um, but we got now a pretty good line of thunderstorms starting to develop here. This is going to be the really ignition. So what's really happening here is you have a cold front that's associated basically all the way over here. This is not obviously not the way it's updated. You have a dry line here that forms the storms, and you have a cold front. You have a cold front here, and then obviously you have a warm front. But this will be the ignition. And as this continues to move out to the north and east, this is going to be able to produce some severe thunderstorms. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. There's also a winter aspect to the storm as well, where we could see several inches of snow. I've not taken particularly a look at the storm, but I can take a look at it now. There could be the potential for significant snowfall out of this system as it develops. It looks like the GFS model is being very aggressive with it. Snowfall could get. There's going to be also a very dangerous potential ice storm with this as well, where areas could reach probably as high as potentially upwards. Based off what I'm seeing right now, sustained over hours could lead to about an inch of ice accretion. I don't think it's likely to happen, but there's always a possibility. But the overall snowfall accumulation is expected to be around, let me see here, a general, from this original storm. This actually has been, on top of another storm, could be as much as anywhere from 5 to areas could reach as high as 15 inches of snow. So that is why the winter storm warning is in effect. However, the winds are not strong enough, so this should likely not be a blizzard warning or a blizzard concern of any means. But as you can see, the pink is indications of winter storm warnings. You have the purple, which is kind of just winter weather advisories, and then obviously you do have the dark blue colors here as well, which is the winter storm watches. So they're kind of pretty confident that we're going to see either 6 or more inches of snow in portions of the Midwest, or upper Midwest, as you might say, and just starting to watch this area over here. So yeah, we've got a lot of ignition happening, and I think this is where things are really going to start to pop off. You can see the warm front already here. Okay, I think it did just update actually. You have this dry line here, and then you have the you can see it actually this dry line, and then you have the warm front extending out like this. And this right along this warm front, you're going to have a little boundary of potential severe thunderstorms as things get going. So yeah, and things could get crazy in the next couple of hours. As far as I know, right now we're just waiting for these supercells to start to develop. There should be a little bit of a boundary line that should ignite the thunderstorms. These are the overall temperatures, but of course the dew points are the more important question. How high are the dew points in this environment? We are looking at dew points in the mid-60s, which is favorable for severe weather, of course. There are some dew points that are in the 50s. I expect that to change potentially. But let me just pull up the model to give you guys a general idea of what's going on here. Alright, that's the temperature. I apologize. Let me get to the actual feature radar. So actually, the issue model is actually not doing a bad job with it. I assume it just updated though. So again, we're gonna see some thunderstorms develop right where my mouse is in here. we're going to start to see some thunderstorms kind of really pop off in this kind of general area later tonight around 9, between the hours of 8 and 9 p.m. This will continue to march across and through the overnight hours, and then things should become less of a threat. So now that this could be a line of thunderstorms, where we would be more looking at a QCLS tornado threat, which is probably why the tornado threat is just a little bit less. This will be out of your hair probably by about 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I will not be able to cover that because it's just way too late for me, unfortunately. But we're going to have to really watch this area and I see what they're talking about right now. This is going to be the ignition spot for these thunderstorms to really pop off. And I do think we're going to see several supercell thunderstorms. And you can already see whenever you see something like this in the models, it's never a good sign. The only thing on our sides right now is, I think, let me just take a look here. We'll take a look at the significant tornado parameters. So right now, these are where the tornado parameters are lined up. We got a little line here. Basically, where that ignition line will be, I keep forgetting it, but this is basically it. This will likely increase over the next couple of hours. This is the ignition line, the boundary line. Oh, sorry. So the most significant tornado parameters are located right now down in portions of northern Texas. This is going to increase by 8 or 9 o'clock when that line comes through, and I'd really watch this particular area here for some potential QCLS tornadoes. And this is where the 5% risk will come in hand. And the tornado parameters do extend all the way through the warm front through portions of southern Missouri. Looking at the overall reflectivity again, that's when supercells will start to become a problem, and they may even become a problem in portions of Missouri as well, which is an unfortunate thing. Unfortunately, that's just going to be the way it is tonight. And as we continue on, this line will eventually make its way through. The good thing is anybody basically past this line here, anywhere to the west, is in the safe spot. This is likely to break apart. This line of thunderstorms here is likely to break apart by 2 a.m. But we're going to have to really watch closely on these thunderstorms. And videos will return normally. We're going to get that going too. So we got that on our sides as well. But this is a really impressive line of thunderstorms already. We have a bow echoing segment heading off to north and east. I wonder if they upgraded this. They have not yet. It is still warned for 70 mile per hour gust and quarter-size hail. Obviously, that's enough to knock down trees and stuff like that, power lines. So always stay safe and stay indoors. In the basement, probably the most ideal situation in case, your house is located around a bunch of trees. The trees could potentially fall on your house. You want to probably be in the lowest part of your building so, no injuries happen, obviously. Down here in portions of southern Texas, we're not really seeing much, but the ignition is starting to happen here. You can see it kind of right here where the dry line is. But yeah. And the reason we call it a dry line is because this is right, if you're not familiar, right next to the desert. And the desert warm air combined with a cold front or a warm front is enough to ignite thunderstorms, as far as my knowledge. But we're going to have to really watch this line. So now we're starting to get some supercells here, kind of just starting to develop. I'm just wondering if they're going to start to rotate or not. That's the bigger question. Do we get a bust of a forecast tonight like we did a couple of weeks ago with the moderate risk of severe weather across portions of the mid-Atlantic? Or do we get a more robust severe weather threat here with tornadoes, with more tornadoes on the ground than we would have predicted? We don't know yet. But things should get interesting. There's also been a flood watch issued for portions of Missouri, particularly central and northern Missouri. This is probably going to be for the extended amount of rainfall that comes out of these thunderstorms probably these thunderstorms are going to be crossing over this line, and going to be just continuously driving across this line until it finally gets out of here by sometime tomorrow. But we will also be live tomorrow, or I think it's tomorrow. Yes, we will likely be live tomorrow as well. in the evening hours. This is almost a guaranteed live stream. There will be a video out tomorrow, by the way. But the tornado threat looks to be the most significant. Based off of how things go, there could be even an upgrade to a moderate risk of severe weather potentially, but an enhanced risk of severe weather is also in place for the winds. It's just going to have to be really a severe weather outbreak that we're going to have to really watch closely, because things could easily become pretty bad quickly. So yeah. I think these storms are starting to develop. It's not going to look identical to the forecast models, but there should be some ignition in here of at least some sort of organized thunderstorms. But here we are up here, with a nasty looking thunderstorm up in here. This is likely looking to be a hail producer. I don't see much indicating that this is actually rotation here. There's not much of anything. I mean, there could be a very broad streak of rotation, but nothing overly significant. Alright, tornado watches have now been extended into... Oh, never mind. That's just an update, I guess. Looking down here, this is going to likely show us the gust front here. The gust front looks nasty. We could have pockets of winds as high as 70 to 80 miles per hour, which is easily enough to knock down tree limbs, trees, power lines, everything like that. Stay out of this line of thunderstorms if you can. If you're in these areas, remain in shelter, because these are some very dangerous thunderstorms moving through. Anytime you see a bow echoing segment like this, you need to remain indoors. As you can see, it continues to bow out, and it will likely do that because it's in a favorable environment for it. Moving on, these storms are really just starting to develop. These are really just random clusters of thunderstorms developing in this area. We'll have to really see what happens when it gets to about this line here. Kind of somewhere where these three lines here are, we're going to see some sort of ignition of thunderstorms. And they could be severe. We'll just have to see how it goes, I guess. Some of these look like they have that rotation look to it, but just to be exact, I mean, these look mostly hail producers to me, with in heavy rain bands and tons of lightning, obviously. Anytime now these thunderstorms start to set off. Alright, we're getting some severe thunderstorm warnings now, starting to develop. Alright, here we go. I think this is it right here. So we're starting out with this here. This will likely only persist and start really causing problems. The only thing I can see stopping this is maybe this cluster of thunderstorms, or anything that gets interferes in the way of these thunderstorms would keep this tornado threat to a lower pace. But first severe thunderstorm, well, not first severe thunderstorm, but severe thunderstorm in portions of Kingfisher. I believe this is actually located in Oklahoma. It is. mile per hour gusts and golf ball size hail. That is 1 inch and 3/4 in diameter. That is a very dangerous thunderstorm, and another dangerous thunderstorm moving through portions of Marshall, Oklahoma as well. This is for 60 mile per hour gusts and once again golf ball sized hail. If you're in these severe thunderstorm warnings, these are the ones that are the most dangerous, and we will likely see higher. We will likely see bigger hailstones in this tonight. It's just a matter of time. But there's a ton of lightning with this line of thunderstorms moving through portions of northern Texas here, crossing the borderline between Texas and Oklahoma. This is when things should get interesting. We are about just on time. But what's starting to get developing here, just to the north in Big Spring. This is not forecasted by the models, which is quite interesting to me. Well, it kind of is, but not fully. Really, this area is expected to see the most aggressive thunderstorms between the hours of 12 and 3 a.m. particularly, or even potentially as late as 4 a.m. before the thunderstorms start to fall apart. So that's going to be a little bit of a while before we get to see any of those thunderstorms pop off. But we do now have special weather statements in effect, or we must have had these in effect for a little while, but I didn't realize that they were there. Particularly nasty thunderstorm moving through here. There could be a bit of a hail core moving through portions of southern Quina. A little bit of a hail core here moving through. We'll see if they issue this for. They did issue it for golf ball sized hail, or excuse me, $half sized hail. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings reissued here. This looks particularly dangerous. We have a block-going segment moving straight to Kingfisher. This just developed, literally just developed. This could actually be a bit of rotation, I'm not gonna lie. There are some spotty areas here of broad rotation. Depending, I'm not sure if it's actually rotation or just radar contamination. However, we just see this frequently. We'll have to see what happens here, but by any means, 60 mile per hour gusts and golf ball sized hail can be expected, and along with these thunderstorms as well as they're moving through. 60 mile per hour gusts with this one and 10 golf ball sized hail. Buildings expect 60 mile per hour gusts and quarter sized hail as these thunderstorms are moving through. Alright, new extension of this special weather statement. I believe this is new. I think this one is new in particular. Let's see here. Wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour and penny-sized hail. So little damage as possible there, of course. Still really waiting for these thunderstorms to really pop off into tornado warnings. We're gonna have to watch this line for any QCLS development. I'm not seeing anything that suggests anything that is QCLS. I'm trying to look for any indents in the line of thunderstorms, but I'm not seeing anything quite just yet. But this looks like this would be mostly QCLS 23. And once again, I would watch this particular section of the thunderstorm here, and watch right in here again. I've said this time and time again, for a quick spin up tornado as it moves off to the northeast. Looks like we're getting a good line of thunderstorms starting to develop here down here in portions of All3, Texas as well. And is this a wind advisory? Wind advisory is randomly in effect for portions of Paragould for up to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. They don't typically issue wind advisories for 40 mile per hour wind gusts, but this is likely not. This is likely not actually rain. This is likely wildfires, because as you can see, it's kind of just streaming. I think this is wildfires, and I'll just verify that real quick. But I think these are actually just wildfires being picked up by the radar. I could be completely wrong, but I think um yeah, yeah, pretty much what I expected, honestly. There is a bit of and this is in portions of is it in Mississippi or Louisiana and portions of that area. Yeah, this is likely. This down here is rain and thunderstorms. This up here, however, is not. This is likely. You can see these kind of streams of blue here. They're very, very small, but these are likely wildfires. And the way you can tell they're wildfires is just kind of how they're streaming. You don't typically see thunderstorms stream like that. So, hope everyone over there is okay. But the dew points are 60 degrees, which is quite interesting how we're still seeing potential wildfires. We can confirm it. I'm just gonna have to turn off the. Give me 1 second here. I'm just gonna confirm it real quick to see if these are actually wildfires. I'm not completely confident. Let's take a look here. Oh. I don't see anything that suggests these are wildfire smokes right now, but this could easily change. Anyways, moving on, I will turn back on the radar real quick. There you go. And no, I realize the subscribers count is kind of screwed up. That's an easy fix. There you go. 87 subscribers. We gained 1 subscriber over the last 2 streams, I think. Or 3, actually, I believe. Is my... Oh, you guys haven't been able to hear me. Well, that would have been convenient to know. I apologize for that. Interesting. That is extremely weird. Very weird. Anyways, let me refocus on what's going on here. So, basically, we have a enhanced StratusFW weather that basically extends from portions of Kansas and Oklahoma running to Texas as well. This is for particularly hail, damaging hail, damaging gusts, and tornadoes. There could be potential for EF2 plus tornadoes even tonight. There's even though there's 5% risk. Here's the line of thunderstorms that we are watching for development along the line. Right now, I mean, this is an area to watch. Over here's an area to watch. Really all along this line is an area to watch for any QCLS development. Anything that just starts to rotate. So we have thunderstorm warnings to extend through portions of Ponca City all the way back to portions of nearly Watauga, Kansas, or sorry, Oklahoma. But new severe thunderstorm has been issued for portions of New Cornell. New Cornell. New Cornell. Hello? Anyways. We have the severe thunderstorm that has been issued for New Cornell. New Cornell. Hello? 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 New Cornell? Okay. Alright. 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 Well. Hello? 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 Anyways, here's a tornado warning, sorry, not tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning for parts of New Corndale. For 16-hour throwing us and ping pong ball size hail. It looks mostly like just a general thunderstorm with some lightning and some hail in there. Nothing too concerning quite just yet, but really gotta watch this line here. This is gonna be this is the whole dry line right here, the whole thing. This is gonna move off the north and east here. I want to see if they've upgraded anything to a more leveled severe weather threat. Hello? 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 I should not be doing that. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? I don't get it. Hello? Hello? Okay. That was weird. I can still hear it. Hello? 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 That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay, anyways. apologize for that. We're still live. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I just want to make sure that's true. Give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second here. Just okay. Let me make sure everything's all right. Live. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I just want to. Perfect. Okay. All right, we are good to go. So yeah, still watching the sign of thunderstorms moving through the area. Right now, we're just having a few individual supercells starting to develop in the area of concern. Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Sayre. This is in portions of Oklahoma. This is for 60-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. And the interesting thing about this tornado watch is there is the potential for up to 3-inch sized hail, which I believe is apple-sized hail. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we really got to watch this line of thunderstorms here because I'm starting to see some indents here. Okay, so the radar just updated a bit, but whenever you see stuff like this, you see little hooks in this line of thunderstorms, I'm just going to tick. There's some rotation starting to develop near a lusty. Okay, so this is it looks like it's getting more. It looks like we actually have now a pocket of rotation here. This is going to be near a lusty. Watch this very closely. Again, these are winds going towards the radar, and these are winds going towards the radar, and these are winds going towards the radar, and these are winds going away from the radar. Just gonna have to watch this closely. We're gonna see if this gets tornado warned. I think it may. This is the exact area that I was concerned of. So we may get our first tornado warning here in a second. It doesn't look like there's anything on the ground, but let me check where that rotation is. We may see a tornado warning here in a few minutes. We'll have to see what happens. But I think what tonight's threat is going to be mostly a QCLS tornado threat, which is, yeah, pretty typical. Supercells ahead of it are ongoing. We're going to have to watch these here for some rotation as well. We're seeing development here already in portions of the area of concern. I think this is just generalized thunderstorms. I think the severe weather risk is really going to come from this line, which is going to take a while to get here, but this will eventually ignite as it's going this way. And when it does so, it's in an environment that's fairly capable of severe weather. Dew points up here are in the mid-60s, and temperatures are in the 80s, so we are favorable for severe weather. We're going to have to watch these very closely, though. See if anything really gets warned here. I'm not seeing anything that looks particularly concerning except for this little hook here. Let's see what's going on up here. There may be a little bit of rotation near Blair. We'll see if this gets warned. This could be part of it. There could be a little bit of rotation like this coming inwards. I think they may warn that actually. And I'm not seeing anything that's on the ground, so that's always a good thing, but I think we're going to end up seeing this general setup. I think we're going to be seeing more in the way of tornado warnings rather than actual tornadoes on the ground, because this is only a 5% risk. I get how it's a hatched 5% risk of tornadoes. However, this is there is the potential for at least a couple of tornadoes to be on the ground tonight. This could either be a bust of a forecast, or we'll just have to see. Alright, moving on. What was I going to do? There was something I was going to do. Alright, new severe thunderstorm warning issued for portions of, where's this? There's no town. The closest town to it is Guthrie. This is going to be in Texas once again. This is a considerable damage threat. This is for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and small hail. Please remain indoors if you're in the severe thunderstorm warning. Any of these thunderstorms are going to be capable of producing very large hail. And, okay, I think we may have a supercell trying to rotate here. You can see that kind of hook-looking thing near new. Let's see if we got any rotation. We're starting to get some broad rotation starting to develop near new Cordell. I don't know if it's enough to really issue a tornado warning, but I am seeing some rotation here. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. You got this little tiny hook here. These are the kind of thunderstorms you got to be careful of. As these move and stay in a general favorable environment, well, things could turn ugly real fast. Alright, so these thunderstorms are moving kind of out of the tornado watch box, but again, this tornado watch box should be extended further to the north and east. But anyway, special weather statement has been issued for portions of Fairfax, Shoulder, and Pawnee Nation for these incoming thunderstorms. These thunderstorms could be capable of producing 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts and nickel-sized hail. So nickel-sized hail is more kind of on the damaging side, a little bit of indents in your cars, potentially maybe some minor hail damage on roofs and stuff like that. But other than that, we'll just have to see how this goes. These thunderstorm warnings should not remain in effect for a few more minutes. We get a bow echoing segment on this one, likely some gusty winds with this one. This one is warned severe. Let's take a look at how much wind this one is carrying. We're actually there. I don't know if that's actually a tornado on the ground or something like that, but there's potential. I mean, we'll see. This could get warned. There could actually be a. Yeah, we'll see if this gets warned, but this could be a sign of rotation already. And looking at the correlation coefficient, I mean, there is, a little blotchy stuff showing up on the radar. It could be either radar contamination, it could be hail, or it could be just straight up. This could actually be a tornadic supercell starting to develop right now, which is kind of out of the zone of where we would typically see it for tonight. But we'll have to see if this gets warned. I'm kind of interested to see. And then we actually see this storm really just start to randomly just develop kind of a hook type hook. Yeah, we got rotation on this storm as well near OT Missouri tribe. If you're in this warning, seek shelter immediately, whether there's the lowest part of your home or building. We'll have to see if this one gets warned. And then we got a bunch of supercells behind it as well. The National Weather Service may just be slow today with warning thunderstorms, which is typically how it goes, but full-blown line of thunderstorms developing now. We got a nice line of thunderstorms really starting to develop here, and another line of thunderstorms down here as well. Alright, new severe thunderstorm warning for Caldwell, Texas. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and small hail are the primary threats as this thunderstorm moves through. We already have a few reports of wind gusts close to 58 miles per hour, so that is severe criteria. But we're really gonna have to watch this. This could be a long night. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take for these thunderstorms to really get going, but I assume they're already trying to do so. Tons of lightning being picked up by the radar site, so I actually assume there's a lot more lightning than is being shown. But you can see these thunderstorms are just explosive. Really gonna have to watch this supercell here. I'm getting quite worried about this supercell over in portions of New Cordell. There is a bit of rotation. You can kind of see it almost. I don't think it's enough to be warned. However, it's still something to keep an eye on. And then up here, there's also a thunderstorm where I did see some signs of rotation. I think it was this one up here, or actually this one right here. We'll see if the rotation has continued. Rotation has gotten broader, but we have rotation getting stronger, and we got storm chasers. Why are they getting so close to this thing? Hold on, I'm going to confirm something real quick. Give me just 1 second before we confirm that this may be a tornado. Okay, so this is likely radar contamination based off of what I'm seeing. So we're gonna say this is probably not a tornado. Although I did see some footage with some broad spinning. I think I saw just a little tiny bit of broad spinning. But it was definitely not that intense. Another area to watch here, and portions of Marshall, this particular storm down here. Gonna have to watch this one as well. New severe thunderstorm warning just got issued for portions of Fairfax and into portions of Burbank and Rayston. This is up in portions of Oklahoma. This actually was originally supposed to be the special weather statement, but this has been severe warned once again. Expect 60 mile per hour wind gusts and ping pong ball sized hail that is 1.5 inches in diameter. So damaging hail, very much so. This is when you gotta stay careful. See, we've got several loops in this. This is the bow echoing segment. Obviously, we have another. This was originally another bow echoing. This was originally connected to it, but really this line is kind of starting to look like what the RRFSA model was showing. Just a kind of semi-discrete supercells is what I'm seeing right now. But winds could be gusting as high as 50 to 55 miles per hour potentially. Upward this is where the really gusty winds are, where this bow echoing segment is. Potentially winds upwards of 45 to 50 miles per hour here in this line of thunderstorms moving through. But definitely have to be careful of that. They've actually extended this severe thunderstorm warning, which kind of really does not surprise me. Again, 70 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail can be expected with this storm. Just remain indoors and away from windows, and you should be good. The only really concern there would be was trees falling down, which is obviously probably already happening. Pretty strong winds are already being reported around this area, so it doesn't shock me one bit. Alright, no tornado warnings yet, which really kind of surprises me because I'm seeing areas of rotation already. Let's see over here. This looks like a hook echo to me. Yeah, this may be spinning, but it's kind of, you can see this brown in here. You can see this kind of grayish area. That indicates broad rotation. I'll take another look, but I don't think. But based off of the footage I saw earlier, it does not indicate that there is a tornado here. So. If you guys are going to watch Tornado Pagey, they are on this latest storm. You can watch them on the Radar Omega app is what I'm using right now. You can buy a subscription for you can go alpha, beta, or I can't remember the last one, but $9.99 for alpha, which I highly suggest, and you can get add-ons such as radar features, scans, and stuff like that for I think $7.99. I highly suggest this app. They're now turning the corner. I'm just trying to see if there's any rotation here. Unfortunately, I cannot show footage or any really sound or anything just due to laws and stuff like that. But I'm not seeing any indications of rotation. But there's tons of lightning with the storm, as you can probably tell on radar. Oh, wait a minute. Am I showing this? Oh, okay, good. Alright. I was just wondering. We'll see if they turn here. tons of lightning with this thunderstorm being seen on radar, obviously, and footage. Alright. Looks like they are not going to target the storm, which is quite interesting to me because it's starting to indicate a rotation. Or they're trying to turn around, one of the two. There's only one road they can really go to get towards the storm again. They are passing it, so I don't think they're targeting the storm anymore. So I can now show the radar. I will be right back. Alright, we're back. Alright, covering, alright, now we have a storm chaser on this storm, finally. I think they're taking a look from a different perspective. To me, that's a little bit too close, but not my decision. Still watching these severe thunderstorms as they're moving through portions of northern Texas and into central Oklahoma. Again, 70 mile per hour gusts are the primary concerns with these storms. It looks to me like the storm is falling apart, and this is kind of what I expected. So I think we're going to see kind of an effect like this. Okay, so storm, storm, and storm. We're going to start to, and I think these are trying to break apart and become semi-discrete, which means we're going to have the potential for strong tornadoes, unfortunately. The thunderstorm over in New Cordell, Oklahoma, seek shelter immediately. This one is hauling 60 mile per hour gusts and ping pong ball sized hail. It does look like it has a little bit of a hook on it, but I don't think it is, because if it was, it would have been tornado warned. However, there is rotation, you can see right here, unless it's radar contamination. And it does not look like, I mean, this could be something, but it's highly unlikely at this point. This looks like mainly damaging winds and hail. Looking at these other storms, mostly just severe thunderstorms. A lot of these will probably just get pre-warned again. 60 mile per hour wind gusts and $50 sized hail with this thunderstorm near Dover, Oklahoma, and another thunderstorm that I've been watching about to enter the areas of Orlando, and as well as a bunch of other towns, Marina, Oklahoma, soon enough. There is rotation on this storm, I do believe, but I don't know why they're looking the other way. These are professional storm chasers, so they obviously know it better than I do. Now we're just gonna have to watch this line of thunderstorms too. These guys are on them. I'm gonna have to stop the coverage for a second to watch their footage, but it does still look like you have broad rotation here, so I'm interested to see if there's any low level spinning or anything trying to drop right now. It does not look like there is, but we have 3 storm chasers on this storm, and I think there's a base to it as well. So let me just stop the you guys will still be able to listen to the you'll still be able to see everything but the radar. Alright, let me just look at this real quick. We have 3 storm chasers on this currently right now. I'm just taking a look at it real fast. Well, that's unfortunate. Bad signal with this storm chaser. I don't see anything that's low level, but they're also not looking at the right direction either. Okay, alright, nope. You can try Storm Runner Media. We'll see if he's catching anything on this storm. I'm not seeing anything on that one either. And this one could potentially see it from a mile away. This is the one I'm going to go with. John McKinney. You can also watch him on the Radar Omega app or on YouTube. Come on. Oh. Not seeing anything low level really right now. So this looks to be radar contamination at the moment. However, that can obviously change, but at the very least, this is a severe thunderstorm warning with 60 mile per hour wind gusts and ping pong ball sized hail. These thunderstorms attached to this line are now starting to become semi-discrete, which is typically what we alright, this is never a good sign. You're getting strong inflow from about the Vernon area, and we're getting a hook. We may be getting our first kind of potential tornado here. Let me just take a look at the radar real quick. Nothing here right now, but this could be something, but it's the actual thunderstorm is more like right here. I think the correlation coefficient might, yeah, see the correlation coefficient isn't picking up anything, and it's basically right here. We'll have to see if that's a hook or not. It may not be. Yeah, that's not a hook. But regardless, still keep safe. Oh, Whoops, did not mean to do that. 60 mile per hour gusts and small hail can be expected with this storm near Crowell. And they just made this a severe thunderstorm warning, and this is a considerable threat now. This one looks ugly. So the actual hail core you're seeing here is not representative of the actual tag here, but this is a dangerous thunderstorm with 60 mile per hour wind gusts and tennis ball size hail that is 2.5 inches in diameter. If you're near Vernon, seek shelter immediately. This kind of hail is enough to damage cars, it is enough to damage rooftops, and enough to damage pretty much everything. I'm surprised this one isn't warned for larger hail than it is. I may switch back to my actual, give me 1 second, I think I might switch back to my original, oh, well, that would be nice to know if I forgot to turn on the radar. Well, we have one severe thunderstorm warning here through portions of Frederick, and this is in portions of Oklahoma and the Texas border. Vernon is, town Vernon is in the midst of getting slammed by a 60 mile per hour wind gust severe thunderstorm with the tennis ball sized hail, which is enough to damage. Oh, okay, now I see what they're talking about. Yeah, here's the hail core starting to really show up on radar. Again, tennis ball sized hail. This is pretty much near that criteria of this tornado watch. As you can see here, hail could exceed 3 inches, and I think we may just get that out of this storm. If this storm stays ahead of this actual line, it does not look like there's much ahead of it, but there is a bunch of lightning with these individual storms, which these are the most tiny thunderstorms I've ever seen. This is like such tiny thunderstorms. Such tiny thunderstorms. It's just little sparks. We'll see if this one gets warned for larger hail. They have now upgraded this to 2-inch sized hail and the potential for 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So again, another damaging thunderstorm as far as hail goes and wind. And then over here, this one is looking more and more nasty to me. Orlando, Oklahoma, need to stay aware because again, there's probably still some broad spin here. I'm really surprised there's no one on this storm because this one, if anything, looks the most dangerous out of all of these. The problem is this actual convection here may prevent this storm, this one in particular, from really starting to develop and really get its act together. Again, another severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Fairfax, Oklahoma. This is for 60 mile per hour wind gusts and ping pong ball sized hail. Again, seek shelter immediately. This is equally as damaging to basically any other hail type. Take it just as serious. Moving on, I'm surprised they have not warned this thunderstorm for I'm surprised there's no tornado tag on it or anything, because I'm not saying that this is necessarily a hook right here, but it does look like we have a ginormous hail core here. I would like to get some cameras in Vernon, and I'll put that on something else. Vernon, Oklahoma, I believe it is. Cameras. I think these are okay. Well, all I can tell you is there's probably some gigantic hail in here. We're probably going to see reports come in pretty soon. And okay, we now have severe thunderstorm warnings for this kind of cluster of thunderstorms down in portions of southern Texas, or more central Texas. This is for 60 mile. Sorry, I apologize. Why is that not considerable threat? Anyways, 70 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. For this kind of bow echoing segment, almost. This is basically what they're talking about, I think. Okay, we're starting to get a little something going on this storm. Let's see if this has any rotation on it real quick. Not much of anything I'm seeing here. There's just not much rotation, but whatever this is clearly radar contamination. That does not look accurate at all. But the story of the day so far is the hailstorm in Vernon, which is pretty impressive, I won't lie. And the wind speed is sustained at 21 miles per hour. So this is a strong thunderstorm, probably producing wind gusts between 40 and 50 miles per hour at this time, but could easily be producing wind gusts well over that. Looking at the overall velocity, let me look at the storm velocity. We could be seeing pockets of up to 80 miles per hour. I'm surprised this isn't warned for higher. There is potential for upwards of 65 mile per hour wind gusts to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with these thunderstorms. So, yeah. That is all within kind of the gust front, really. Kind of right here. This looks like a hook echo, but it's not. You can see it's really just kind of developing. It could be developing hook echo, but I doubt it is. There's not really any particularly strong rotation, because if there was a hook echo like that, it would be strong rotation. Moving through here, severe thunderstorm warnings extend up through Waterford. This one was just warned for 2-inch sized hail and 60 mile per hour wind gust. Again, large hail core with this storm. Doesn't surprise me that that's warned. Continuing to monitor these thunderstorms as well. This one has a bow echoing segment on it now. There's a lot of storm chasers that are going to be targeting this, and particularly because this one has the potential to produce a tornado potentially. This one probably has a pretty good structure on it too. I wouldn't lie. Nothing that seems like anything's rotating, so that's always a good sign. But these storm chasers are definitely on this storm and watching it. Ooh. And I do not know why my radar system is not going off. That's quite interesting, I won't lie. Okay, that's all good. Let me take a look at the weather warnings real quick. It should be going off with no problem. Yeah, see? Okay. Alright, maybe. Excuse me. It could be as much as this radar app can having issues. Therefore, I'm going to see if I can get a different app to do the alerts for me. While you guys will only see the Radar Omega app, but I'm going to try and see if I can do something about it. Let me see here. Okay. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. We're just gonna have to stick with it. Oh wow, look at this. Look at that. Look at this. Entire, wow, that's impressive. I think they're going to extend sorry, not the tornado warning, but the severe thunderstorm warning kind of like this. But that's impressive. That is what you call a bow echoing segment of severe thunderstorm. Now, it wasn't expected to be like this from what I saw earlier, however, doesn't surprise me. And this is near Hobart, Oklahoma. I don't know. That's probably the best looking bow echoing segment I've seen yet. That's quite impressive, I won't lie. Ugh. Don't mind this blinking here. This is the blinking that was just here. This is just I think they're just possibly just, yeah, it's been extended for another hour apparently, which is interesting. So far we've been lucky with no tornadoes yet, but I'm guaranteeing you, well, not guaranteeing you, but I would really watch this entire line here, because something could easily pop off. But so far the 5% risky tornadoes is not played off, and I wonder if it's due to capping. I don't think there's much cloud cover, but I wonder if there's enough, the lapse rates are enough to cause issues as far as that goes. And it does look like that could be the issue, actually. They are supposed to diminish, but not before this line gets through there. So capping could easily be an issue right now, but I don't think that is, because if you look at the when we take a look at the, I want to see the actual echo tops. Let me see how large they are. Yeah, see, this can't possibly be, these are reaching 40,000 feet, which, if you don't know, a severe thunderstorm warning, a severe thunderstorm can reach as high as 50 to 60 feet, and potentially even higher than that. So I don't think that's the case. I think we're just dealing with, I don't know, just dealing with non-tornadic thunderstorms right now, which hopefully that stays the case. And if that stays the case, I'm not going to continue to be live, but obviously this could easily turn out to be a derecho, honestly. And I apologize for that, but what I'm saying is this is warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and it is hauling there's a lot of lightning within this thunderstorm, and the torrential downpours are for sure there. Just looking at this overall, when we look at the storm relative, okay, that's not showing really anything. It's really aggressive. It's not showing it like it should, but I guarantee you there's wind gusts over 70 mile per hour in this line, just given the fact that it is a bow echoing segment, which we typically do see, stronger wind gusts in a bow echoing segment. It would typically be the gust front first, and then the actual thunderstorm that comes through. So far we have avoided any major tornadoes. So still in effect, this near Vernon, Oklahoma, this 60 mile per hour wind gust and tennis ball sized hail in this thunderstorm here. Severe thunderstorm still issued for portions of Crowell. This basically crosses the Oklahoma border here into Texas, for 60 mile per hour wind gusts and small hail. This should be, I'm not seeing much of anything. I mean, there's a little pocket here of hail, but nothing more than that. Okay, new special weather statement was just issued for this part, down in portions of, is it going to give me a town name? The closest town name is Stiles. This is for 50 to 55 mile per hour wind gusts and half-inch sized hail, so enough to knock down trees for sure, if it can reach that 55 mile per hour wind gust threshold. Alright, these are now warned. These thunderstorms are still severe over here, I believe, but I believe as it gets over here, it could potentially be in a less favorable environment as far as wind shear goes. As you can see, the wind is only 10 miles per hour here, but I'm not sure about the wind shear. But anyways, special weather statement is now in effect for 40 mile per hour and gusts of penny-sized hail. Again, they can easily extend the severe thunderstorm warning. It still looks severe to me for the most part, but we'll see. But now we're in that threat zone where the tornado parameters are higher, and we need to really watch this area. But if it can get to all the way across here with no problem, well, that's just a bust of a forecast, unfortunately, or fortunately, actually. Oh, new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for this storm here, and there's near Lake Kemp for 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. So do be aware of this storm. I believe it is this storm right here that is moving off to the north and east here. So much for that tornado threat, but I don't want to say anything yet because I don't want to jinx it. Alright. No updates as far as the the SPC goes, Storm Prediction Center, but we're still waiting on. We'll see if anything can really pop off. I'm still not seeing much of anything, but this is interesting here. Look at this, and a little notch. I don't know if it's a tornado. I can't tell. Let's see here. It could possibly be a tornado. A little bit of rotation right here. The radar scan is kind of weird, so the thunderstorm itself is actually over here, but for some reason the rotation is showing up over here, which is interesting. But I think the radar is just off a little bit. Nothing, I mean, of course this could suggest that something is on the ground, but I don't think anything is on the ground at this time. And if it is a very small tornado. But this could be a tornadic thunderstorm as it moves to the north and east. We'll have to watch this as well. But so far, so good. We've made it maybe 35% of the way without any tornadoes, just remaining with damaging winds. That's always a good sign. But anytime, things could get ugly. Okay, we have a camera here, but I cannot show it, unfortunately, but I'm just going to take a look at it real quick. After viewing it, it's got an insane structure on this thunderstorm here that he is following. This has an insane structure right here. It's got a shelf cloud with it too. Alright, supercell up here as well for 60 mile per hour wind gusts and lime sized hail. And it's no surprise. I mean, look at the hail core on this thing. It's pretty impressive. More severe thunderstorms up here. These should be expiring within the next 30 to 40 minutes. Nothing that suggests there's anything on the ground. That's quite interesting actually. There's a little bit of broad rotation here near Crescent and portions of Lovell. It's not enough to be warned, I don't think, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And then as you go up through here, these thunderstorms extend. I wonder how far these thunderstorms actually extend, how far this yeah, lots of thunderstorms going through portions of Springfield. This is in Missouri, right? Just north of Springfield, about maybe 50 to 100 miles to the north and west. Alright, we have another mesoscale discussion that just came in. Or maybe I didn't recognize it. I'm not sure. Let me pull up the mesoscale discussion real quick. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Oh, got lost. Sorry. Alright, we have a new mesoscale discussion out by the Storm Prediction Center for this particular tornado line of thunderstorms here. Oh yeah, I don't know them. Sorry, I got confused. Here we go. Let me get the image up here. Alright, here is the actual thing here. Here's the mesoscale discussion. Make it nice and big. The text here says potential for a couple of tornadoes and damaging wind gusts should increase during the next few hours. The potential there is for an EF2 to potentially an EF3 tornado, 65 to 80 mile per hour damaging winds, and hail in excess of 1.5 to 2.5 inches in diameter. So we will put that up on the on the screen for you guys. There it is, the latest one that just came out. Alright, new severe thunderstorm warnings extending through portions of oh, that's a nasty boa going segment right there. That's just nasty. Moving through portions of Carnegie. I wonder if there's almost some sort of rotation in here. No, just very strong winds, potentially upwards of 50 to 60 miles per hour in this line of thunderstorms. But it's going to be warned for more than that probably. No, maybe not. 60 mile per hour gusts and quarter-sized hail with this storm. Remain indoors. Still a severe thunderstorm. They've this entire line is issued for severe thunderstorms, and my goodness, look at that hail core. That is one huge hail core of just straight hail. Wind is at 21 miles per hour, so it is a gusty thunderstorm. Yeah, this still looks like a hook to me. I don't know why, but there has to be a rotation here. There is a little bit, just a tad, near Oaklandian, Oaklandi, Oaklandian. Okay, got that out. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. This is gonna be a tornadic thunderstorm. I can already tell. Look at how it's developing.